You know how people are always telling you to beware of the company you keep, because if you constantly surround yourself around negative people, then you're eventually going to subscribe to the negative traits of those individuals? What if I told you that the same thing applies to your spirit and your mind? Whatever you listen to, the shows and movies you watch on TV, your favorite social media influencer, all of these things play a vital role in who you turn out to be. They will eventually shape you into them subconsciously if you are constantly consuming their content, whether good or bad. The fact of the matter is, you are a product of your environment, whether you realize it or not. Essentially, it's kind of like getting married. And you may be wondering, where the heck am I going with this? What I mean by that is, one of the reasons you want to make sure that your spouse has good moral value and serves the Most High, loves the Most High, even more than they love you, which is how it should be, is because if you get married to this person with the intention of never getting a divorce, spending the rest of your life with this person, you're spending every waking moment with this person. And this is not what this video is about. This is just an example. Spending a lot of time around people, eventually you're going to kind of pick up some of each other's personality. You're going to like mold into one person. Keeping your ear gates and eye gates is very similar to that. And it's very important. It's essentially like a garden. If you're planting good seeds into the garden, you're going to bring forth good fruit. If you're planting bad seeds in the garden, you're going to bring forth bad fruit. You know, it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of logical. Also, the word talks about this as well. And you may be thinking, I don't know where it talks about that. The Bible doesn't explicitly say guard your ear gates and eye gates. It says that just in a different context. Proverbs 4:23, for example. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Your spirit and your heart are very closely intertwined, right? If you are feeding yourself bad things, then what do you think is going to happen to you? It's like if you go in the fridge and you know the milk is rotten, but you bake a cake with the rotten milk, the cake is going to taste probably horrible because you just put rotten milk in it. Out of the heart are the issues of life. There's enough bad things going on in the world already for you to just like feed yourself with more bad things. I don't watch the news. I will watch certain stories on the news so that I can be informed of what's going on in this horrible world. But I don't just watch the 5 o'clock news, right? My grandma does that, and she's a trooper for that. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch the news. I'm just saying that's like a personal thing for me. I used to watch the news all the time when I was a little kid. It is very important to have boundaries with what you are consuming and like feeding your spiritual body and allowing yourself to like entertain. For me, there are certain things I don't entertain because I know it's going to make me feel heavy. It's all about protecting your peace and having boundaries for things like that. And that includes certain individuals and situations as well. Psalms 101:3 says, I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. I shall set no wicked thing before my eyes. When we're talking about guarding your ear gates and eye gates, it's very important that you are not consuming wicked things. Wickedness can take many forms. There is a scripture, and it's in Philippians, and it's like, whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are of good report, think on these things. It kind of goes back to like the kind of content that you're consuming. I'm not saying you have to consume bubblegum, rainbow content all the time. Scripture reminds me of Proverbs 13:20. He that walks with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. That just reminded me of like the digital environment, you know, in this new digital age. There's so much content everywhere. He that walks with wise men shall be wise. It's kind of like, there's so much drama. There's like a new controversy on the internet every single day, like on the hour. Like they're just ready, just like, oh, look, this happened, she did this. And I just see this stuff on my feed because they push it out to people, the algorithm. And I'm just like, who cares? Like, I don't understand who cares. It's like when you're constantly consuming drama and like tea and, oh, this, she did that, she's a backstabber. It's like, what do you think that's going to do to your soul? Like, that's not going to like benefit you in any way. The first thing that I kind of want to get into is the music, because I feel like this is a huge problem in today's culture and society. I'm not saying that this wasn't a problem back then. It definitely was. I was 13 years old. I think that's when this song came out. We won't name names, but basically an artist released a song talking about how they are the opposite of a hero. And that's what I'm referring to in this clip. But it was so catchy to me that like I would go around the house singing it. For context, the whole chorus is basically like, walking around the house singing that. I was very silly. And then one day my mom was like, why are you singing about you being like the problem? I was like, Mom, it's just like a song. It's not that deep. I'm sorry. In that moment, I didn't really agree, but like, I think I thought about it like a couple of days later. I was like, oh, she's right. I really shouldn't be saying I'm the problem. Then I'd stop singing the song. Like every time I would hear it, I would start to sing it. I'd be like, wait, I'm not supposed to sing that. I'm not going to sing that. Literally, I'd be like, it's me. Then I'm like, oh, I gotta stop. The music is very important though. There will literally be a song talking about, I'm gonna kill all of you in words, and then people are like on there like singing it. I saw this interview of Michael Jackson, and he was basically talking about when you listen to like a chorus of a song, it's like a mantra, and like the kid like will repeat the chorus over and over again. It's like a mantra, and then they start to become what they're saying. Because my mom and my dad, they'd always be like drilling in us how important it is to watch what you're listening to. So I already knew that, but I think when I heard it being said in that context of what Michael Jackson was saying, the chorus, like the thing that is repeated in the song over and over again. Most of the time in songs, I think the chorus is repeated like 3 times. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's
verse, pre-chorus, chorus, second verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, and then chorus.
So that's 3 opportunities for you to repeat the chorus. The things that are being said over and over again could be like the most vile, raunchy, negative, explicit things that people are just like saying over and over again. I never even thought about it like that. I can remember the first time I heard Happy. It was in the Despicable Me 2 movie. Yeah, it was the second movie. And my mom was playing it in the car. I think I was like 4, which is crazy. That was so long ago. And I remember the song just made me really happy. Cause I mean, that's basically the chorus, like, cause I'm happy, blah, blah, blah. Like, no one can like steal my happiness, basically. And I remember like the song just made me really happy. Which is such a funny way to put it, because like happy is in the title. But as well as music being used to uplift, music can also be used to bring you down. For example, I remember when I was a child, I remember when I heard this specific song, I didn't really like the lyrics. It made me really sad. I think I was like 8 because it like bothered me. And even now I don't like that song in general. Not because there's anything wrong with it. Like it just bothers me. I still think it's really sad. I would even go as far to say it's a little bit depressing. While for someone else, that could be their favorite song. It could uplift them. It could be like the best thing on the planet. Like they hear that song and it's their jam and they're automatically in a good mood. So you do have to use your own discernment when it comes to things like that, because my happy song could be your sad song and my sad song could be your happy song. So just make sure you are using your own discernment is what I'm trying to say. So that just goes to say like music really is energy and is really so important, the music that we're listening to. I'm not telling you not to listen to secular music as a whole. In TV shows and movies, I feel like a lot of people aren't watching TV anymore. Like that's just what I grew up on. TV shows and movies, you know, back when people actually had to wait a week for the next episode to come out. It's very important what kind of TV shows and movies you're watching. I think that they're both equally important, but when it comes to TV shows, it's a different thing because TV shows are continuous. They often go on for years and years, several seasons, consuming this show throughout all the years of your life. If the show would be like overly sexual, things in the occult, like a TV show that you are following for like different stages of your life could have like a very negative impact on you. Movies are the same way. In general, I've noticed that the children's shows that are coming out now are not the same ones that we had as children. I've noticed that instead of them sneaking things in subliminally, which isn't good either, they just do it like in your face. And I've noticed as the years go on, they raise the bar to see like what kind of crap they can get away with putting in what is supposed to be a children's show. I'm not going to name names because I know it's not just them that do it. There are a lot of other networks that are like marketed towards children as children networks, and then the television and the movies that they're producing are not at all kid friendly and just not something that I believe like a child should be watching. So I do think we really need to be careful about that kind of thing. I'm 17 and I think about the things I was watching when I was like really small, like 8 or even like 3 or 4, and then I see what's being marketed towards children nowadays, all these like TikToks with these like racy songs, and like I've noticed they're marketing more adult things towards children, and it's been so normalized, the oversexualization of like the new shows and stuff that's coming out. And I don't think they're really producing as many children's shows because children are just on social media, and we'll have young children like participating in these trends and like watching these social media influencers that are not at all like for their age range or like intended for like their age bracket, but we have them watching it because they don't really have anything else to watch. And it's really sad to see that. I've even noticed with like the rating systems that they're using, like the MPAA rating systems, they have changed drastically. For example, when I was 13, I watched this G-rated TV show about ice skating. And it was a really good show because they were twins, but they were kind of competitive with each other. But then they made up and they were friends again. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. That show came out in 2021, so I would have been 12. But I didn't watch it until 2022, almost a whole year later when I was 13. Fast forward to now, 2026. I'm 17 at this point, and I noticed that this streaming platform has came out with another ice skating show. And I got so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, this is kind of a full circle moment because it was like early in the year, which is when I had seen the other show 4 years ago. So I was like, this is literally a full circle moment. I have another little ice skating show mini series to watch. Whenever I watch something, I check the parents' guide because I have to know what's going to be in it if I'm going to sit up here and watch this. Even though this new ice skating show was rated PG, I was still going to check the parents' guide, because I already don't trust the rating system. I check regardless of the rating. So before I check it, I decided to watch the trailer. Because it's PG. Like, why would I not be able to watch the trailer? About 30, maybe 15 seconds in, I turned it off. It's like, nope. I'm not doing this. We're not doing this. Not doing it. And I was really confused as to why they would take this TV show, knowing the subject matter, knowing the mess I just seen in the trailer, and decide that it should be rated PG. That's how they get you. That is how they get you. Because then the children go and ask the parents, can I watch this PG show? Parent is like, yes, you can. And then there are certain things that, depending on you and like where you are in life, you probably shouldn't watch it. Certain things that you may be struggling with. For example, when I was a little kid, there was this show on a network, but it was about these identical twins. And they were like inseparable, you know, they were like really close and stuff. If you know me, you know my older sisters are twins. And when I was a little kid, I was jealous of them, and they know I was. And so when that show came out when I was a little kid, I remember them being like really excited about it because, you know, it was a show about twin girls. As I got older and I was like watching this show, it like fueled the jealousy I had. Maybe I shouldn't have been watching it knowing like how that would affect me personally. Sometimes certain things you may not need to watch because of you personally. That's why it's so important to use your own discernment. One thing that I feel like is not really talked about enough is also the books, because I've noticed there's something called BookTok on TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but I've seen it on YouTube where they will recommend people the best, how do I put this, spicy books to read. And we have young children on TikTok and reading these books, showing up to school with these books that they really should not be reading. And just because the cover is animated and it looks all innocent doesn't mean that the contents of like what's in that book is innocent. So I think that's something that we all need to be mindful of. There are services where you can check out book content. Common Sense Media is a big one. I like to use that for TV shows, movies, books. Yeah, it's really cool. Also podcasts, which is kind of like in the music realm, but I do think that podcasts kind of like appear to be more innocent because you're like, oh, it's just the podcast. They're just talking yap, you know? No, there are explicit podcasts out there. So be very careful about that. Really, you just need to use your discernment. And if you are feeling convicted or like a certain type of way about something that you're listening to or reading or watching, you need to listen to it. Like, don't ignore it. Please don't ignore it. All in all, I'm not telling you what you can and can't listen to. I'm not telling you what you can and can't watch. That's not my job. I'm not your God. I'm not your mother or father. I'm simply advising you to proceed with caution when it comes to the things that we are consuming and allowing into our ear gates and eye gates. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe and give this video a like so the algorithm knows that you like it. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope this video was informative or helpful to you in some way, and I hope you can walk away from this video being more careful about what you are consuming and allowing into your spirit. So yeah, bye guys.